it's time for Movie Friends with your hosts Michelle and Seth. We're talking film without pretension. We're finding cats that are unexpected. We'll watch a movie, film, or schmovie, and we want you to join our journey. So subscribe and share this podcast, or this might just be the last of the Movie Friends. We're movie friends. We want to be your movie friends.
Welcome to New Release Review, part of the Movie Friends podcast. My name is Seth. Today we're talking about Black Bag from 2025, directed by Steven Soderbergh. We will be discussing spoilers throughout this entire episode, so if you have not seen Black Bag, I don't know what's wrong with you. Stop listening to this, go watch the film, and then come back and listen. Today, joining me for an emergency episode, very graciously, good friend of the show, frequent guest, and new host, co-host of her own show, We Be Watching, Kazmo.
Hi!
Kazmo,
It's
what's
me.
going on? Yeah.
I can't talk about it, Black Bag. That's where I'm at.
Black Bag. Yeah, I didn't know what Black Bag meant. Did you know going into this movie?
No, I thought that
Yeah.
was like a cool name for a movie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I need my wife to see this so that when we're talking to each other, I can be like, Black Bag.
Yeah, lock it down. Nope.
I don't think Black Bag would work with any couple outside of this film.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
If you said that to your husband, would he be like, oh, okay?
He doesn't understand most of the things I say, so I think he's like, whatever. She's just saying being weird again.
All right, so then you can try it. Try it a few times this week. See what happens.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So before we get into Soderbergh and Black Bag, you started your own show.
Yeah, I did.
It's
With
very
my
exciting.
mother.
Yeah. There's one episode out so far, and I broke my golden rule of movie podcasting, which is I do not listen to episodes unless I've seen the movie. But as soon as this dropped, I was like, clear the schedule.
Oh,
You're
too sweet.
I need to everyone out of the house.
Turn the lights down low.
I'm getting like big speakers. I can't even listen to this on headphones. I gotta. So yes, definitely. If you're listening to this, check out the show called We Be Watching, and the episode that you have up is on the 2 Gladiator movies.
Yeah. Thank you.
So Steven Soderbergh, this is the second movie that he's put out in like 3 months, right?
Yeah.
He did Presents just a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get a chance to see that in theaters. I really wanted to, because I know that he like filmed that one himself, and I was reading a little bit about how he did it. I was like, wowie. But everyone, including you, were talking about Black Bag on the internet, and I was like, I guess we're all going to see Black Bag.
Yeah, I had to see Black Bag. As soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, this is my bag. I mean, this is my Black Bag, So it was no doubt about it,
See, I saw the trailer and I was like, ooh, cool, Michael Fassbender. Ooh, Cate Blanchett. But then I was like, Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Just done by Steven Soderbergh? I don't know that I need that.
Yeah. No, that was the only thing where I was like, it might be like that, and if it is like that, I'll be sad. But I'll still check it out.
Yeah, I've never even seen Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Wow, me either.
Yeah.
I've seen like bits and pieces, never the whole thing. I never sat down and watched it.
Yeah, I think that was around the time, perhaps, when Brad Pitt's power was waning a little bit. But
I was more into the People magazine part of it, so I wasn't paying attention to.
Do they still make those?
You know what? That is a good question. I don't stop in the supermarket and grab it anymore, so I don't even know. I don't know.
People are always mourning the death of like, People magazine, as if it's been around for like thousands of years. But I'm sure there was like
Yeah.
the Pilgrim's Gazette or something that
Yeah.
ran for 70 years and we don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what did you think about Black Bag?
I loved Black Bag. I mean, it was everything I wanted and more, just, people being sexy and doing crime, I guess. I can't even tell you what they were doing in that movie. I gotta be honest.
Sanctioned crime.
Yes,
Yeah.
fiction
Yeah.
crime. It's my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little afraid that I was hopping on the hype train
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was like, people were like, this is the best thing ever. One person said, and I wish I remembered who it was so I could properly credit them, but they said something like, this is everything that people have been complaining about
Oh, yeah, yeah,
movies.
yeah.
Like, this fixes all of those things. And then people start guilting you. They're like, if you want movies like this, you have to pay to see it in the theater. And I was like, oh my God, do I want movies like this? I won't know until I go.
Yeah, right, right, right.
So I was kind of afraid that I was like just gonna be so let down by it.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that the end just kind of like happened, and then it's like
Yeah.
I was like, this could have used a little fluffing. I feel like, like it just
Yeah.
the ending just felt so unpolished. Like maybe they
Yeah.
just ran out of money. Or Soderbergh was like, I need to start filming another movie tomorrow.
Yeah, like he's got
This is good.
3 other projects. This is enough.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to
Mm-hmm.
keep it a tight, a little
Right.
over 90 minutes, He's
Mm-hmm.
just like, let's get this done. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
okay with it.
Yeah. Which I respect,
Yeah.
90-minute movies. I think
Yeah.
it's become a bit of I don't know. Uh, I have no problem with longer movies
Me
too.
either. Yeah.
Keep it however long it should be,
Yeah.
whatever.
Whatever you want
But
to do. Yeah.
yeah, but like when the movie started, I'm like, okay, standard stuff. We get a good oneer of
Yeah.
Fassbender like going
Yeah.
down into the club and then walking back up out of the club and spy
Yeah.
stuff. But we started right away with the wife suspicion.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
When that happened, I went, oh. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I didn't think we were gonna do that. It was funny when it started though. I was like, oh, it's present because it was like the ghost was behind him, and I was like, oh, we're gonna do like a little. We're gonna continue the theme,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but then it started moving. I was like, okay, it's not the same thing. But
That'd be
yeah,
funny. The Presence trilogy.
yeah,
It's just totally random scenarios, but a ghost is watching the whole
yeah,
time. Mm-hmm.
that's fun. We'll do a rom-com next or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we go straight to the chase. Like there's
Yeah, right,
no
right into it.
pussyfooting around, as they used to say.
Yes.
And the movie starts and it's like Friday.
Yeah.
London, Friday.
Yes, yes.
And then he's like, okay, I'll do it in a week. And then it cuts to like Sunday or Monday. And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh my
yeah,
God,
yeah.
we're already losing a day. Did you feel like that?
So true. No, yeah. I was like, I thought that was weird, but sometimes I'm like, maybe I just didn't read that right. Maybe that did say Saturday, but no,
Mm-hmm.
it was Sunday.
Yeah,
I don't know.
they
Like, he
skip a
didn't do
day.
anything important on Saturday. He just relaxed.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah, he was like, it'll work itself out.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and then this movie felt a little, I don't want to say like front heavy, but when we get that first scene with all 6 of them doing the first dinner party, as that progressed, I was like, this feels like a third act scene.
Yeah, no,
Like
I
it
feel
feels,
you. Yeah.
yeah. But again, I was like, wow, okay. I'm pretty impressed. There was one line, I wrote it down, because I was like, this is exactly when I'm keen into this. It's when the 2 of them are talking before dinner, and
Okay.
she's like, what is this about? He says, Severus. And she says, and you think one of them took it? Out loud, I said, oh, yes. Because it was just kind of
Yes,
like spy stuff,
spy stuff. Yeah.
but without like none of these spies are like superheroes.
Yeah, exactly. No, there's no James Bond. These are not like the guys in the field,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
looking cool, doing barrel rolls and stuff like that. No. I loved
Correct.
it though. I really, I don't know. Obviously, if you're watching a movie, it's never a waste of time, I don't think. But I
Mm-hmm.
just feel like sometimes I'm sitting in a movie and especially when I've seen the trailer, like I know what the crux of the problem is. So I'm like sitting here waiting for us to get to like what the issue is.
Exactly.
And this
Exactly.
is just like it's just like, look, here it is. Like we're going. Here are your
Mm-hmm.
suspects. Start figuring it out, Cosmo. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, yeah, I'm paying attention. Like I'm like a little doggy or something, like I'm
Yep.
like, yeah, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. We don't. I recently watched The Insider,
Oh
Michael
yeah.
Manning's The Insider,
That's
and
long.
that yeah, it's long. And the whole opening is you're following Al Pacino and he's like blindfolded and you're going through this country and he's got this meeting with this guy and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, this is important. And then you're like, wait a minute, that has nothing to do with
Thing
the
to do
rest of
with
the
it,
movie.
yeah.
And all throughout the movie, they're working on like other news stories
Right.
concurrently.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, it's all going to tie together. And in the end, I was like, nothing tied together.
No, none of it did.
All I learned is that these people are very busy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they are very busy. I like that movie though. I mean, it's completely different. It is like, here, look at all of this stuff. And
Hmm.
it's more like you see the pressure that these people are under and, so that works too. But yeah, that one definitely is like a slow cooker,
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
you got to sit
And
in
this
it
one
for a
just gets
while.
right to it. Like
Right to it.
we don't see him go on a whole other mission, and we don't
Right.
see her doing a whole different mission, and then
Right.
we get to know them very, very quickly. And yeah, I liked it. Meacham, I didn't trust Meacham
From
at
the
all.
get-go. Yeah.
Yeah, he just seemed. I mean, I guess the movie. I guess it's mostly about like different relationships in this industry and like in this
Mhm.
environment, and I
Right.
didn't really see that from the beginning, so I would like to see this again. I don't know
Mhm.
that I'd go to see it in theaters again, but I would like to see it again, because once that dinner starts, I didn't even know that they were different couples. I was like, these are just
Yeah.
random people.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
think they say it like I remember somebody says we're just couples. Like, of course we're all couples. That's why they invited us or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. But yeah, I still didn't catch on to like who was the couples, and
Mm-hmm.
then it came out as the dinner was going.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely like about relationships, about how hot marriage can be.
Mm-hmm.
If you want it to be, maybe.
It was so funny. When what's her name, Marissa Abella, who plays Clarissa,
Okay,
who
gotcha.
through the whole movie I was like, how do I know you, and then I was like, oh, I know you from the trailers for the Back to Black movie.
Oh, yeah, she is Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
that's it, I
You
think.
did not watch the film, I guess?
No, I just saw
Oh,
the trailers and I was like,
okay.
I was never a big Amy Winehouse fan. Like
Yeah, I
I did
mean,
not understand it. I mean, it's tragic when anyone dies, but
yeah, of course.
people were like, she's the greatest new jazz singer,
Yeah.
and I was like, is she? Because she just kind of sounds like, wah, wah, wah.
Oh my goodness, not you roasting Amy Winehouse. When
I
did
mean, I'm
she
not
do
trying to.
that?
I just think she was special and worthy of a biopic.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't good. I watched it, so you
Ooh.
didn't miss anything at all.
Was she
Ugh.
better in this one?
Yeah. She was okay in the Winehouse biopic. She's good in this. I've seen it. She's in Industry too, which is a TV show. I haven't
Oh
watched
yeah.
all of that, but she's good. It's like the same kind of character, I feel like a little bit, but
Interesting.
also I shouldn't say that because I haven't watched the whole thing, so who knows? But
It's true.
she was good. I liked her in this.
That is tough about a TV show, right? It's like you
Yeah,
can't get a firm
yeah.
grasp on anything until
No,
it's over.
exactly, and that's why I have a hard time with it.
Hmm.
I
Like if you
can't
watch the
finish it.
first episode of The Office, you're like, Michael
Mhm.
Scott is the devil.
Yeah, exactly.
And then someone who's seen the whole thing is like, what are you talking about?
No, he's the sweetest. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, she has a line later on when they're switching over the satellites, and she says like, that's the hottest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, that's how it works. Or like, that's how we make it work or something.
Yes.
I was like, dang, okay.
I love that part. Because I
All
was thinking the
right.
same thing when he did it. I was like, wow, that was so hot. And then she said it. And I was like, oh, yeah. Feeling the same thing, girl.
So Michael Fassbender is George Woodhouse.
Absolutely.
How did you feel about him in the movie?
You know, he's type A. You know, he's like, I don't usually like those kinds of guys.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like the ultimate wife guy. So I gotta respect
Yes.
that, you know? I gotta respect it. But I get bothered by people who are like so like he got sauce on his shirt and he had to like go and change. Like that kind of stuff drives me crazy. But you know, he's good at his job, so I can't get mad at him, you know.
Right.
But he was good. I mean, it was kind of like Terminator vibe. Like he was like a robot almost.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he was giving me like, so one of the trailers that I saw before the film was for The Accountant 2.
Yeah.
And then as this film started, I was like, wait, this is the accountant guy. Like, it's the same type of character.
Yeah, it
here.
is similar. Yeah. But I think George is a little cooler. Maybe it's because he's British. I don't know. But he's just like a
Right.
little bit
It's
more
hard.
slick. Yeah.
It's hard to know. Once a character is British, I feel like all bets are off.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't get a real read on them at all.
Because it's like, are you normal or are you just British?
British, yeah.
Yeah. When he got the little bit of sauce on his shirt, I was like, you should have rolled up your sleeves. Like,
yeah, like why are you doing this buttons? Are you crazy? Like that's you're making sauce? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I liked him. I liked the story that they told at the table.
Oh yeah, with his dad.
Where they're Freddie is like, George's dad was also a spy. He cheated on his mom for years, and George didn't like that, so he videotaped him.
Yeah, he surveilled him. Yeah,
and then played it at a Sunday dinner. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then they're like, how old was he? And he's like 36. And everyone at the table was like, oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Which was another moment where like that's exactly what I thought. So it's funny that as they're writing this, they put in a few things that perhaps, you know, the audience would be thinking.
Yeah.
Soderbergh directed this, but it was written by David Koepp. He has written little films such as Spider-Man 2002, Jurassic Park, Mission Impossible from 1996, Death Becomes Her, Carlito's Way, Kimmy, Snake Eyes. So this dude is like
one of the greats.
Slouch. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
On his letterbox, it says he is the 9th most successful screenwriter of all time in terms of U.S. box office receipts.
Oh, okay.
So that's
very
that's
good.
a stat people are keeping track of, I guess.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. But yeah, he's worked with Soderbergh a few times before.
Yeah.
He actually wrote Presents, Kimmy. Yeah. I didn't love Kimmy.
I never finished it. You know, it's one of those COVID movies, and I just was like, I can't do it. Like I can't. I just don't want to watch anything at that moment where people are putting on a mask and stuff.
I agree. Yeah, it was maybe in 5 years.
Yeah,
I'll be like, okay, sure. But yeah, in that moment, I was like, this is tough. This is very tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kimmy was kind of like their take on Blowout.
Okay. Yeah, I was getting that vibe. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like
it seemed good.
Scrubber.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, I was liking it, but then it's just like COVID. I'm just like, okay, I'm burnt out.
Yeah, I'm living this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked Fassbender. I loved when he spoke German for half a second.
Yes. And Cate I looked at him like, okay.
Mm-hmm. It was weird. Pierce Brosnan plays a character named Stiglitz,
Yeah.
and then you got Michael Fassbender speaking German, and I was like, this is a weird Inglorious Bastards
Yeah.
connection.
Yes, yes, yes.
Like very, very far apart, but it's still
It's there. Yeah.
there.
Hmm.
I liked when he went fishing.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
nice. Yeah,
Um,
like where he thinks.
yeah, each time he would reel in, another thought would come to him.
Yes. I
And I
mean,
was like,
I'm a sucker
okay.
for that kind of visual storytelling.
Have you ever been fishing?
Yes,
Oh,
yes. My
really?
grandfather's a big fisher,
Oh,
and
yeah.
my husband's family, they love to fish as well. So
Hmm.
I've done it a few times. I don't get it, but people like what they like.
Yeah.
It's fun to like fling it,
Right.
and then you just kind of sit there. I've
Y-
caught some fish, and that's exhilarating, but I mean, it's like 2 seconds of exhilaration. I just
Right.
don't. And then a lot of times you gotta throw them back. Sometimes you can eat them. I'm just there to eat them. So
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
You
But
could take that same amount of time, work for an hour, and then just go buy
yeah,
a fish.
just go buy a fish.
So,
Yeah. But
yeah,
I mean, it is relaxing. But see, I hate the water, so that's like
yeah, me too.
it's not good for me. But
Yeah.
people they just sit on there and they drink and they just be in the sun and the boat rocks you nice and whatever. It sounds awful to me,
No,
but
all of those things. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. No, thank you.
yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was like a nice little touch. Like
Mhm.
in a really short amount of time, we don't flesh out a lot for Cate Blanchett's Catherine, but
Right, right, right.
for him, I do feel like we get a good sense of what he is, and I was also kind of glad that we didn't, wait until the very, very last final moment to know if she was a traitor or
Yeah, I like
not.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cuz
and
I was just thinking like cuz I think the movies like this couple really loves each other. Like
mhm,
I don't think they that's like a way to get you in that like it might be his wife, but it's like that's not what this is really about.
mhm,
At the end of the day, it's going to be them working together to suss out who's the real
right,
naughty fish.
right, yeah, and I
Yeah.
was like, okay, are there details that I'm forgetting? Because when
Yeah.
we do that final wrap up dinner, and this is something Soderbergh does so well in the Ocean's movies,
Yes. Yes.
which, if I haven't said already, I love this director. He's so committed to telling different types of stories, making
Stories,
different
yeah.
kinds of movies.
Mhm.
He did Ocean's 11, but he also did Bubble, which is a
Right.
great movie people should check out. He
Mm.
starred in his first film, Schizopolis. Have you seen
Yeah.
that?
I've never seen it. I want to.
It is so weird.
Yeah.
It's like he's being extra in
Mhm.
that. Like he's going above and beyond, but
Right.
it's different, and he's just got such a fun, different filmography, and like maybe it's just the headspace that I'm in this
Mhm.
month, but I feel like he's the Nick Cage of directors,
Oh yeah,
you
definitely.
know?
I can see that. Mhm.
Yeah, where it's like he's got talent, but he wants to do different things.
Yeah, wants to tell different stories. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you can see for sure after the Oceans films, he could have done those forever. Like he could have just
Mhm.
kept doing that and
Yeah.
made millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't even remember why we're talking about him, but I really oh, what Soderbergh does really well is when we start to see the scenes that have been
Yes.
referenced before.
Right.
So now we
Mhm.
see Freddie meeting up with Dr. Zoe, and like all
Yeah.
once all the things start like falling into place, it's like my brain is like, "Oh my god, yes."
Yes, it feels so good. But that's because I mean, but that shows like he did the right thing leading up to that moment. Because
Mhm.
sometimes, especially in spy movies, they'll do like, all right, here, all the strings come together, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Just like, what? What are you talking about?
Mhm. Mhm.
But this
Yep.
one, like, I feel like even with this movie being so short, I feel like I was still able to follow along. Like we're not moving too fast. Like where I'm like,
Right.
who?
Yeah.
like I feel like a lot of times I don't know who people are, but it's like we really just have like a tight group here, and
Hmm.
we're staying within those walls.
Yeah, definitely. The only part where I was like, am I missing something? But they didn't make it too big of a story was when they get they get the message like there's a leak, and George is like, oh my god, no. And then
Yeah.
you find out that like in the 3 minutes that he diverted a satellite, someone that they were using that satellite to watch
Yes.
disappears.
Yes.
So then I was like, wow, I think I'm lost. But
Yeah.
they pick it up very quickly. I
Yeah.
can't tell you exactly that I know everything exactly as it happened. I don't
No,
know if
I
you
can't.
feel.
No, I know I can't. I can't ever do it. Like any spy movie, if somebody was like, "Oh, so what's the villain after?" I don't know. Like I
Mm,
can't tell you. I don't know what his plan is. I When I watch spy movies, I'm here for like the vibes, I guess, or like I'm here for the wardrobe. I'm here for the slick
mhm,
moves. I'm here for the slick soundtrack. I'm here for the like cufflinks. I don't. I'm
mhm,
not.
mhm.
I can't really get into the plot. I hope it makes sense. Like,
So Cate Blanchett is Catherine Saint Jean.
mm.
How'd you feel about her?
I mean, I love Kate. She's my girl. She's so elegant.
Hmm.
She's like a walking painting,
Hmm.
and she was just mesmerizing. It's like I get why George is like, I will kill anybody for you.
Yeah.
And she's fierce too. I mean, like you can tell, like she's not as fleshed out as George is, but you can still tell like she's like a shark in her own way,
Hmm. Hmm.
and like she doesn't play around. So,
Yeah.
you
It's
know.
hard with Cate Blanchett because obviously she's done a lot of great roles, a
Right.
lot of like earthy, gritty stuff. But for me, she was introduced to me as like Galadriel from Lord
Me
of the
too.
Rings.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm now watching her in a 90-minute, really lo-fi spy movie, and I'm like,
Yeah.
she's too much for this. And like, I think
I
that she
get
did
you.
good, but it's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're putting this like goddess into like this teeny box.
I get you. But I
Hmm.
think that's why, but I think that makes it like why George loves her so much. Like when you got that kind of a prize, well,
Hmm.
women aren't prizes, but you know what I mean. Like
Hmm.
she's a literal goddess. Like any decision George make, I'm like, yeah, he's got to do this because you guys are trying to throw his goddess wife into prison or have
Right.
her freaking black bag in a
Right.
in a
Right.
in the back of a car. Like,
Right.
yeah, she's so ethereal. Like,
Hmm. Like if you put her in Tar, and like,
oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. It
I can
makes
see
sense. Yeah,
that
she's got to
because
be
she's
bigger than
this
life.
huge, like she
Yeah,
is the conductor. You put her
right.
in Carol, and
Yeah.
she's so imposing over is it Rooney
Who's that?
Mara
I think it's
in that one?
Rooney Mara.
Yeah, Rooney Mara in that
Yeah.
one.
Hmm.
She's like Rooney Mara in Carol is like meep,
Yeah,
like
I was gonna say little mouse.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. and
Yeah.
and Blanchett is like the big cat who's just kind of
Yes.
like messing
Yep.
with her,
Yep. Yep.
and obviously there's a lot to that story, but
Hmm.
so it's just like I accept her in these like huge important parts, and
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
it was a little harder for me like in when we're first introduced to her and she's just like undressing and he's watching and she says I, I can always tell, I always know when you're watching me. I was scared for.
Yeah, well, that was very Galadriel of her to
Mm-hmm.
say that,
Yep.
because I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that's the type of stuff she would say.
Mm-hmm.
Like she starts whispering in your ear and you don't see her, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that I expect that from her. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's scary. She's got that
So
beautiful deep voice.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, and the mouth, her mouth, I
mouth.
noticed this
Oh
time,
my
it
goodness.
just keeps going.
Yes, it's incredible. Like a
Like she doesn't
Cheshire
necessarily
cat.
have like huge lips,
No,
but
no, no,
like
no.
the line of her mouth, it's like what a
Yeah.
just yeah. She definitely went into the right industry, like for
Yeah, yeah,
like you were
yeah.
saying, like her voice, her face,
Hmm.
her presence, like she can. And even this is a very different type of film, but even her in like Thor Ragnarok, she's
Yes.
playing this big,
Yes.
and
No.
I believed her.
Yeah,
I
that
believed
makes
her in
sense.
that. So as you're watching this, did you think that it was her?
No. No,
Really?
because I guess it goes back to the Lord of the Rings thing. She's too good. She's not gonna do nothing that's gonna jeopardize her husband or jeopardize the country. Like I trust Kate Blanchett too much, I guess is the thing. And it's like if she's here, she's not gonna do wrong. I just felt like their devotion to each other is too palpable in those beginning scenes where I couldn't imagine her actually jeopardizing that. If they would have actually did that, I would have been like, "Whoa, this is crazy." But I was not going down that path in my mind, and I already knew who it was, but that's because I hate this person. So it's just like,
Oh
yeah,
no. Oh no. Well,
so
before we get
yeah,
on to him, I did kind of think that it was her, but
mm,
the only reason I thought it was because such an emphasis was put on George as being like unbreakable. He
right.
always knows who's
Yes,
lying,
right.
and then when they include that story about like the personal connection, like him and his dad, and how like he
Yeah.
went
He
above and
would did it.
beyond
Yeah.
to like screw over his own dad.
Right.
I was like, okay, well then someone close to him will be the one to screw him over.
Right.
None of that actually happened. So,
Right. Well, see, I thought about that. I was like, but this is such an obvious misdirect. I was like, they're trying to get me to go down that route. And
hmm
then there's a part where he finds the ticket stub in a trash can, and
hmm
I'm like, I don't know. I like clothes a lot, so I pay attention to clothing. And I'm
hmm
like, I look at the outfit she puts on for the dinner. A woman who puts on that kind of outfit, she's not gonna throw a ticket stub into the trash and leave it face up so he can see it. She knows her husband is a spy. She knows she's a spy. I mean, that's just like amateur hour. I mean,
hmm
there's no way. That's like obviously planted. This woman's too well dressed. Women who are that well dressed, they think about things. They're very
Yeah,
meticulous. So
right.
I'm just like, nah, there's no way.
I
I didn't know what
loved,
was happening.
yeah, I
Hmm.
loved just everything around the movie within the
Ah,
movie.
yes.
Like the idea that these spies just like get off work and then they like go home.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
like, maybe we should watch a movie this week. She's like,
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
It's like, how about Dark Windows?
Love that too. Like you never hear about spies like being able to go to the movies,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
like go fishing. Yeah.
yeah. So then, like, when they're in the theater, and this I thought had to be purposefully funny. Like, George
Yeah.
is just staring at her.
Yes, it was so funny. That felt so relatable though, because that's like when I
Yes.
when I take my husband to a movie and I'm like, you better react properly to what's
Mm-hmm.
happening. Like
Mm-hmm.
laugh when you're supposed to laugh. Be scared when you're supposed to be scared. So I
Mm-hmm.
felt that.
I've been in that scenario before where I'm like, I think that this person has seen this movie and they're
And they're
lying to
lying to
me.
you.
So that was like relatable on a few different levels. But
That is
yeah,
really funny.
there it's great to watch movies with people, but man, I do not recommend if someone's like, what movie should we watch? Don't pick
Hmm.
something you've seen before and you love. You have to pick
Oh
something
no,
new to
it's
both of you
hard.
because you're just going to be watching them the whole time like an
Yeah,
insane person.
I agree with that. It's the problem. Well, see, with my husband, he's never seen any movies, so any movie I show to him, I've seen it. So, or
Right.
like he has, like it's just hard. It's hard to do that. But
Mhm.
any other time, I'm like, yeah, let's try to watch something new because
Mhm.
my heart is on my sleeve.
Mhm.
Like I can't take it.
Yeah. I one time didn't speak. This is insane. I didn't speak to one of my sisters for about 3 months because
3 months, Seth?
just about, yeah. Now, I mean, and it's not like we lived in the same house or anything.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
it
Like
was
you
it
were
was
just like
easy.
ignoring.
No. But I showed her a film that like really like broke my heart and like meant a
Mhm.
lot to me, and
Mhm.
she just like talked through it and laughed. And I like after maybe like 40 minutes, I was like, I'm done, and I like left the room.
Oh man,
And that
yeah.
was
Well, I
it.
don't blame you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 3 months is a long time, but I would have left too. I'm like, yeah, we got to turn this off. Let's do
Yep.
something else.
Yep.
Yeah, I understand.
Anyway, I believe you're speaking about Reggie Jean Page. Reggie
Yeah,
Jean Page.
yeah, whatever. Yeah. Don't like him. I'm so sorry to him. I've never met him, I've never seen anything he's been in until this.
Really?
So
Okay.
I've seen, okay, here's the thing. I've started things that have him in it and then I promptly turned it off. So that's where I'm at with him. But
Interesting.
it's just he's just a person I just don't trust. So
He's not watching your cat.
just sometimes there's people and you see them and you're like I don't know.
Mhm.
Sometimes I just see people and I'm like, what you're giving me is like all bad, all bad. And that's how I feel when I see him. So
Got it.
yeah,
Yeah, he's in the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
I haven't seen that. Yeah.
That was good, actually. But
Okay.
he plays a character, and I won't spoil that movie, but he
Okay.
plays a character that very much has you like, what's your deal? Like, are you good? Are you not
Yes.
good?
Okay.
Are you a bully? Are you really nice? It's
Yeah.
hard to tell. And so I kind of carried that over into this movie where I was like, you're a little too.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like he's giving that off as, I don't know. Every time I've started something and he's in it, he's always giving that. Like, I don't know if it's just his face. I don't know if that's the roles he keeps getting. But he's always like, you just can't trust what he's saying. Like, he's got this smile that he's smiling, and it's like insidious. It's like, it's like, I don't know. You want something from me or you're going to do something to me. And
Right.
that worries me. Yeah.
And you were right. So.
Couldn't believe it because I was like, the whole time I'm watching it, as soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, he's in this. I'm gonna have to like be nice. Like I'm gonna have to like calm down and not let that part of me take over. And the whole time I'm watching the movie, I'm just like, oh, he's such a not good person. Like I'm having a hard time not being judgmental. And then when it was revealed that it was him, I was like, oh, well, of course. Like, what was I doing? I just trust my gut.
Yeah. I going back to Blanchett, like I asked you, if you suspected her, and I kind of did, but only because I kind of thought it was going to end up being like everybody,
Everybody.
maybe.
Yeah.
Like
That's what I
maybe it
was
was
thinking
just like
too.
everybody working together, and they were all like conspiring to not let George in on it because he wouldn't let them sell the thing or
Right.
something.
That makes
And
sense.
it kind of did become that just
Yeah.
in different ways. So in a way, this is kind of like Clue, like the movie
Yeah.
Clue,
Yeah, it is.
just like a serious version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I think it's just as fun as Clue to me. Like
yeah,
the music every time like we do hit a transition and that snappy music comes on, I'm like, oh, like this we're having a good jazzy time, like maybe 10,000s, thousands of people are gonna die from like a nuclear meltdown, but
right,
like we have like nice jackets on and we're like, we're going to the movies.
right.
So yeah.
That's kind of my only thing that I wish. I wish that like whatever Severus was had just kind of stayed a little bit more anonymous and
Yeah, I feel that.
any tie to like the real world. I was like, oh, I don't really want this. Like,
Yeah, I get you.
just keep it as, like you said, like fun. And once you start
Right.
talking about like Russia and the war, and it's like, okay, well, that's not
Yeah, no,
super
I feel
fun.
you. Yeah. Yeah, like cuz that's why I like the dinner party scenes cuz it's like Agatha Christie, like those like when like we're just on the train or we're just in the hotel and it's like
Correct.
these people do have like connections to the outside world, but that's like not what we're worried about right now. Like I do like it when it's more like uh I don't know what the word is, but that I'm looking for. But I do like it when it's
Vague.
yeah, like it's vague. Yeah, like the same thing with like Top Gun Maverick kind of did that, where it's
Yeah.
like this technically this is a war, but like who knows? Like we're just not
Right.
our number one concern right now, and
Right.
and it works. You know, you don't really always have to make it a big deal.
Yeah, like towards the beginning, they started debating the ethics of Edward Snowden, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, am I gonna have to know things about the real world to
I
enjoy this movie?
know. I know. When they said Snowden, I was like, huh? Wait a minute. This
Yeah.
takes place in my timeline?
Right. I'm one of the 10,000 who could die? Yeah. Yeah. Edward Snowden
Oh,
are not words that I should ever hear coming out of Cate Blanchett's mouth, you
exactly.
know? Yeah.
Yes, let's leave that alone.
Yeah. So yeah, Reggie, I kind of was like, I don't want him to be the bad guy because I feel like it was the most obvious that he was the bad
It
guy.
was. Yeah.
He's the only one. He's like a colonel, so it's like okay, so he's got
Yes.
actual like training and like killing people, where everybody else
Right.
just seems like desk jockey
Done.
spies.
Yeah.
Got Naomi Harris as Dr.
Yes.
Zoe Vaughn, who I mostly know as Tia Dalma from the
From
Pirates
Pirates of the
movies.
Caribbean. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She's also
Yep.
Moneypenny
Is
in
she? I
Craig's Bond.
yeah. I don't like the Bond movies
Yeah,
that
I know you
much.
do.
Yeah, and then of course in as Paula in Moonlight, which she's
Oh yeah, she's
unbelievably
phenomenal.
good
Yeah,
in that.
yeah.
She was okay. I didn't get her. They kept being like, "You're Catholic."
They were dogging her for being Catholic. I mean, that's like religious discrimination at that point. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're just like, whatever, Catholic girl. Like, oh, you care
Yes.
about people being killed? Of course you do.
Right.
It's you.
Exactly. Yeah, that was really weird because like we
Yeah.
don't learn a ton about like Freddie.
No.
We don't learn a ton about Clarissa or even Colonel James, but with her, it's like they really focused in on like you're Catholic. I don't know. Tom Burke plays Freddie. I thought that he was good.
Is he the guy from Furiosa? Is that him?
Yes, Praetorian
Okay.
Jack.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
he also
Okay.
played Orson Welles in Mank.
Oh, okay. Good for him.
Yeah.
Such prominent roles.
Yep. But yeah, I thought that he was good in this.
I liked him.
You
I
find
liked him a
out that
lot.
him and Dr. Zoe are the ones who've been having an affair. I kept
Yeah.
waiting to find out with the ecstasy multiple sexual partners thing that was brought
Yes.
up with Clarissa. I kept waiting for that to be Pierce Brosnan, quite frankly.
Yes. That might be my only complaint. He's not in this enough for me. But I love Pierce, so yeah, and let him have some fun, you know? That would have been nice.
Yeah. I agree. I don't want to say he's like stunt casting.
Yeah.
But it's like
But it feels
he's
like
not quite enough. And then
Mm-hmm.
was he wearing a fake nose?
Okay, I was thinking that too. Or because it's a different color from his face.
It's a different color.
Yeah. But I don't want to comment on people's appearances, but I'm just like,
well, no, but
I
this
swear
is a
he doesn't have
film.
a. Yeah, that's true.
This is a film where people literally sit in makeup before
Yeah.
they come on. So I doubt Pierce Brosnan, like worldwide known attractive man, was like,
Yes.
no, don't touch my nose.
Yeah. Don't put any makeup on my nose. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really weird. It was very distracting.
It was very.
Yeah. I'm like, is it going to be like a Mission Impossible face mask removal? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we going to get one of those? But we didn't. So I don't know why it was like that.
No, I don't know why either. I'm very curious. Should I ever get the chance to ask anyone in this cast a question?
Yeah.
It would 100% be what is going on with Pierce Brosnan's nose in this film. And they'll probably say black bag.
Black bag.
We can't tell you.
Don't worry about it.
Yep. But yeah, so like he turns out to also be
Part of
like
it.
the baddie, but I guess he was like, oh, we can stop the war, so it's okay, and all that will happen is one Russian dude gets to escape. Yeah, and this is kind of where it gets into like, as the movie was happening, I was like, I understand everything you're telling me. I know who did what and who lied to who and who, but I can tell you as it's happening, it's like slipping through my fingers.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to retell it. Yeah, but I did feel like it wrapped up kind of good. And then yeah, we get to the end and they just steal the money, I guess.
Look, I love that. This is because my thing, I always get so annoyed with the nobility. Like, we gotta be good people and, like, turn this money in and all that nonsense. Like, somebody sticks 7 million pounds in my bank account and I just saved the world. Yeah, I'm
right. Yeah.
You're not. No, I'm not gonna bring that up. Like, yeah, that's and because I mean they also mentioned, which was interesting to me, that like she has like a money thing. Like I guess her mother ended up with no money somehow, and that scarred her. And it was nice. I was like, oh, good for Kate, or Catherine, that she gets she gets some money out of all of this, and she gets to shoot that guy in the face. I mean, it's like she got to have all the big hero moments. I feel like,
right.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty cool how I don't think we see a single gun
No.
until he puts it into his tackle box.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And because we haven't seen one, or there's no fight scenes or action or anything, it's like once that gun goes in, you're like, wowie, this is not good. Like now I'm kind of nervous.
Yeah. Because that's why I like this movie, because it's the side of espionage that I think I just care more about, which is like the gathering of information. I love when people have to like sit at benches and not talk to each other. Like, I love all that stuff, and like like we gotta figure this out, but in a cool way, where as opposed to like all the gunplay. I can like that too, but I just prefer like let's just do some real spy work. And because then when a gun does appear, it's like you start sweating. Like, who's gonna get shot? Like, these are not people who shoot people, but they're gonna have to.
Yeah. There's something about the introduction of like stunt choreography, fight choreography that really came in like the mid to late 90s with like The Matrix and Crouching Tiger, leading into like the Bourne Identity, where suddenly like everything that had to do with like life and death scenarios had to also include like action.
Yep.
Where if you go to like the 40s, you just had people figuring things out and lying to each other.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And it's so good, but it's so entertaining. Like, I know people may think like you need some a shootout, but it is incredibly intriguing and captivating when it's just two guys being like, I don't know. Like,
I agree. No, I agree. Yeah. So really, like, I think, and I hate to be down on the ending. I just, like I said, I feel like it needed a little more fluffing, or just
I feel you.
Something, because it truly is just like, whatever happened to that 7 million pounds? Like, well, I don't know. And then they just like look at each other and it ends. And I was like,
and it's like directed by Steven.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah. That is true. It does have a very we did it kind of a spirit. Yeah.
But see, that's why.
Wrap it up, boys.
Yes, exactly. Let's get out of here. Well, Soderbergh was like, I'm trying to make these movies as cheaply, as efficiently as I can. So, like, if we don't got more for the ending, that saves me money. Like, I'm not going to make another. I'm not going to get us another set or anything, another location. And the movie looks great. Like, when I heard him say that, like, it's cheap, I'm just like, how are these movies cheap? Or like, what do you mean by cheap? Because
Right.
like this movie looks magnificent. Like these locations are like out of like architecture digest. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like this
Mm-hmm.
is like these places like this don't exist. At least I don't think they do. Like
Right.
they're too gorgeous. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing the cinematography
Mhm.
on a lot of the stuff that he's
Mhm.
ever done. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm looking at his filmography right now, and
He's got a good
I'm not
eye.
gonna I'm not gonna go through and see if he's the sole cinematographer on all of those, but
Mhm.
he is on Black Bag. So
Mhm.
he also did the editing on it, so
Yeah,
that's gonna
he
save a lot
really
of
does.
time. Plus, if
Yeah.
you're directing, knowing that you're editing it,
Yeah.
you're not gonna shoot miles and miles of film
Right,
just for you to
exactly.
cut it out later. So that's probably going to save you a lot of money.
Yeah.
The lighting in this was pretty great, and as I was watching it, all I could think of was people who are going to be like, "I can't see anything. No
Oh
one knows
my
how to light a
goodness.
movie anymore." But it's very much like mood,
It's
you
very
know.
moody. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the government building, like those they have like these line lights at the top that
Yes,
like
yeah, yeah.
make
Mm-hmm.
it looks so cool, and it doesn't, it's not full illumination, but it works. Like I don't know, sometimes the lighting isn't about seeing stuff. It's
Right,
about making an atmosphere.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the guy who did the lighting for this, Michael McDermott, he also did the lighting for The Fall. Have you seen The Fall yet?
Ah, no, I have not. That's the
Oh
one
my
with
god.
Lee Pace, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I
And it
want
was
to
like
see that.
unavailable for a really long
Yeah,
time.
right, right.
It came to Mubi. If you don't have Mubi, just sign up for a free trial and watch
Okay.
it.
Okay.
It is like truly almost every scene in it. You're like, how did they
Oh, I love movies like
like
that. Yeah.
and it's all like natural locations or like
Mm.
temples and you're like, "Oh my god."
Wow.
But that movie looks incredible, like
Mm.
absolutely incredible. Um so the people who made this, they know how to make movies. They're
Yeah.
choosing how to do it, and
Yeah.
I we rewatched Suspiria last night, the
Which one?
1977.
Oh. Mhm.
And there's this awesome shot where the camera uh, floats up to the ceiling and is shooting through a light bulb. And like you can
Mm.
see the filament in the bulb.
Oh, cool.
The light turns out, and at the same time that the light turns out, a green light turns on in the room.
Oh,
Now
wow.
that is not realistic to, to any reality,
Right,
right?
right, right.
But they want it to look that way.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
sometimes in modern lighting it looks like crap, like the big discussion on backlighting things, from Wicked and everything, stuff getting
Yeah.
really washed out. I think that's different. This is more dark.
Yeah, yeah.
but I think it set a mood. I think the movie tries to draw you in. It's not big loud, and it's not the Bourne Identity. It's not whipping
Mm-mm.
around. You're in there. It's an intimate movie. I thought it all worked really well for it.
Yeah.
You already
Yeah.
mentioned the score.
Mm.
I thought it was pretty great.
Yeah, I
Um,
loved it. I couldn't stop dancing in my seat. Like I know I was being annoying. I was just loving it so much. It
mhm.
was not what I was expecting. I don't. I was expecting something a lot more tight laced, I think. But
Mm.
it was so fun. I was just having such a good time because every time like the music come on and like a new day would start, and I'm just like, yeah, here we go. I really liked it. I did just want to like I find it another reason why I didn't think it was Kate is because everybody else in the movie seems so annoyed by their marriage. Like everybody
Mm.
else like multiple people comment on like, oh, like I think in the beginning the guy's like, you guys are like lethally monogamous or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he's like, it's like too much. Like, stop. And then Clarissa's like, oh, you guys are like made for each other. And when Pierce Brosnan sees George, he like turns the
Oh
screen
yeah.
off.
I gasped in my seat. Yeah.
Why was that so surprising? But I was just
I
like,
don't know.
oh. Like, how
Well, you know what?
rude.
At that point, I actually was like, oh my God, is Pierce Brosnan
Oh,
George's
no.
dad?
Oh my goodness. That's
And
when
like
he like
they still
hates
work
him.
together. Yeah. That didn't end up happening, but
No, that
yeah.
would be so crazy. What a incredible layer that would be. But yeah, I'm just like everybody seems to hate that these two love each other so much. So I'm like, I thought it was like like everybody was working together to get them apart. Because they're just like no spy couple should work this well. And
Right,
like
right.
everybody knows in this line of work, you can't have a significant other. So like we gotta put it into this. That's
Yeah.
why like the ending like works for me because it's like, yeah, at the end of the day, these two, they just love each other and they just wanna, be bad and but also be good
Right,
together.
right.
Yeah.
The only other scene that I loved, but in a kind of a complex way, because as it was happening, it just felt like such a like show-stopping, slow downer kind of like,
Mm.
what are we doing? Was the very long lie detector scene.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Because like the whole movie, it's like, oh, nobody can lie to this guy. And then you find out like, oh wait, his job is to like be the lie detector
Yes,
guy.
yes,
And it's just
yes.
every time he tells people to come to him, they're like, I don't want to, but okay.
No, I'm glad you brought that up because this is one of my it's not a pet peeve, but like anytime there's a lie detector thing in a movie, and Soderbergh does a great job with it, but I never understand what's happening because I can't read
No,
a lie
yeah, no,
detector
yeah.
wave. And so they'll like somebody will answer a question and then they cut to the waves and I'm like, great, great, yep, yep, yep. It
Yeah,
went up
yeah.
or it went down. And I'm like, I don't know. I guess they're doing it. And then when he's like, Clarissa did the best job, I'm like, okay, I guess she did. But I had fun with it because it was like a showcase of everybody's like personality.
Yeah.
That's really all I could get from it because I don't know if anybody's telling the truth or not. But
It was funny because he was like, have you read this book on how to beat the polygraph? And
yeah,
she was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
cover to cover. And then he's like, okay, can you loosen your anal
Anal
sphincter?
sphincter.
And I thought to myself, okay, wait a second. If I'm brought in for a polygraph test, the first thing that I'll be doing throughout that entire test is clenching my
yeah,
butt.
yeah.
That's how I beat a polygraph?
Yeah, I just saw this in another movie. I wish I could remember. It was so funny when that happened. I was like, wow, twice I've heard about anal sphincters being
Really?
clenched for lie
Wow.
detector tests. Yep.
I
Very
mean,
weird.
yeah, if that's the way to beat it, then wouldn't everyone beat it? Like, who's
But
sitting there in that chair relaxed? Like, when
I
he
don't
said it,
know.
when he was like, release it, I thought to myself, wait, am I clenching mine right now?
Yes, exactly. No,
It's
me
kind of
too.
like whenever you hear people say, oh, what do they say? Unclench your jaw.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
And
you
you're like,
don't
oh,
realize.
or like
Yeah.
relax your shoulders. And I'm like, oh, wait, that's right. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Oops. Sorry.
Yep, yep,
Forgot.
yep. Mhm.
Yeah,
Maybe
that was
there's
a
like
lot
a
of fun.
certain way you clinch it, like Morse code. Like maybe there's a pattern
Right. Yeah.
that throws off the machine, and it's like I can't make sense of it.
You. There's a certain rhythm that you have to do it to.
Yeah, yeah.
And the machine's like, no, I can't read a thing.
Do you know how lie detector tests work, like at all?
No,
Like I don't
no.
either. Like I don't. What are you feeling on my body that tells you I'm telling a lie? Like I
Right.
heard people say if you like look to the left when you try to remember something, you're telling a lie. And I'm like,
Oh,
like what does that mean?
well,
How does that
so
work?
I used to work in a magic store, and there's a branch of magic called mentalism,
Right, right,
and
right, right.
yeah, and mentalism is very the what's the word? There's a lot of cold reading involved,
Mhm.
which seems like magic if you don't know what you're doing. But
Right, right, right.
I remember like reading one of the books, and they were talking about, there's like 75 different muscles throughout your face that tell different things. And so it's all like
Mm,
science that you can bring.
right.
It's not a sure science.
Okay.
Otherwise, you'd be able to just walk around and actually read people's
Yeah,
minds. But like,
yeah, exactly.
I guess most people do have physical reactions that are similar across the board.
Yeah.
And so I thought that like polygraph tests and stuff like that weren't super reliable.
I thought so too. I thought we got rid of that. Like I thought that was
Yeah.
like, that's admissible in court or something. Like,
Right.
like I don't know.
It's admissible in black bag.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I mean, that was cool. Just Soderbergh having some fun there with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's about it for Black Bag. We've talked almost as long as the whole movie. So,
True.
yeah.
Feels
Kazmo, where
good.
can people find you online?
They can find me on Twitter at Hey Cosmo. They
And
can
that's
find me
Kazmo.
Mo. Yep.
Not
And
Cosmo like space.
no, please respect me. That Cosmo. And then also my podcast, We Be Watching, is at We Be Watching Pod on Twitter. So that's where I'll be.
All right, very cool. Yes, definitely give Cosmo a follow. Give the show a follow. Cosmo is one of the best people to follow for movies online. You get movies, you get funny stuff. It's very worth it.
Straight from the
Also,
Seth's mouth. Can't argue with that.
also, if you watched Black Bag, we would love to know what you think. Send us an email, moviefriendspodcast@gmail.com. Is Soderbergh back? Did he ever leave? Will he ever leave? A lot of questions there. Let us know what you think. Well, hey, thanks, Cosmo.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
This was so much fun.
This is a real emergency episode, which I feel like the last time you were on for Madam Web was as well.
Yeah, this was a much better time in terms of me watching the movie.
Yeah. Still a tangled web, but just a different kind. Yeah. Next time you come on, we'll have to try to plan it.
Yeah.
More than like 10 hours before, but
yeah, that's fine. I work good under pressure, that's the black bag in me, like I just
Oh, that's awesome. All right, well, thank you very much, and thank you very much for listening wherever you are. Till next time, have a good one.
Movie Friends is produced by Seth Vargas and Michelle Rubenstein. Theme music by Jean Marie Vargas. Visit us at our website, moviefriendspodcast.com, and please subscribe and rate our show wherever you are listening. You can support Movie Friends at patreon.com/moviefriendspodcast. Thanks for listening.